For even as we got older, had our own families and stuff, we would always come there because she told us, "This is your home," and we would always come there. And she did a stuffing. We cannot quite get that recipe down for them. It was so immaculate. I mean, the aroma of it would just permeate through the community. People would say, "Oh my God, what is that?" And um, and people would say, "I've never tasted anything like this in my life." And she would say, "Don't give my recipe out. Y'all make sure y'all just make it for yourself and don't give out my recipe out." And even if we tell one another what she put in, we still cannot get it down to the last letter. It's like something. And I think it is because she took her hands and made it. And she would do like tubs of it. She wouldn't do just one little thing. She would have tubs of it where she would, give us to freeze for other days or something, because we would eat it throughout the year because it was so delicious. And the thing about it is, all of our spouses that we had, or boyfriends or girlfriends that we had, everybody wanted the recipe and nobody could duplicate it. And the guys was so love mama cooking so much, even if they're not with us to this day, they still love her. When I tell you, people who we were in relationships with, who, like my ex-husband, he's no longer with me, and I tell you, all of them came to her funeral. All of them miss her. All of them talk about her. And everybody, I remember my ex-husband saying this. He said, "Tammy," he said, "when your mother passed," he said, "this world is going to be something different. Oxford Manor and Bragtown will never ever be the same." And he was right. Because I remember when Mama passed, the police officer came out and said, "Miss Ferrell is gone now. We're coming back out here." And they did. And like I said, they never came out there for anything. If you could look at the police logs, they never came out during that time for us. We always, she made sure we got along. If some of us fought, how we do, little girls fight at school, she got that. But I know I got off the recipe thing. But she fed us all. She used to order. I remember for the city of Durham, when she started the city of Durham, she used to order over 1,500 lunches and breakfasts to feed the community. That's how many kids were out there. And she would get up every morning. I remember her getting up between 6 and 6:30 every morning, ordering, making sure. She would say, "Somebody call me," because at the time we were having an alarm clock, and it would ding, and she would say, "Make sure that alarm clock is set, because I need to feed these kids. Y'all come out here and help me feed these kids in the morning. Go knock on them doors, make sure those kids were fed." And we talk about that. When I tell you, we talk about, the community comes out and talk about that, and we laugh and we have so much fun talking about that. If you would come into the community and you would say, "Who is Jessie Ferrell?" Oh, the first thing they would do is what I did when I first started this interview, is laugh. And because of so many good memories of her. And like I said, it's so many memories. It's hard to just focus on one good thing. But like I said, she fed everybody. She would make us get up in the mornings to go to different cities to pick food to give out to the communities. Not only just Bragtown, she would call people on the phone, senators, city councilmen, whatever. Look, my kids just went and picked, the Bragtown kids just went, Oxford Manor kids just went into Louisville and picked all these watermelons, cantaloupes, corn, whatever, and strawberries. "Y'all come and get y'all some. Y'all bag them up for these people." And we would bag them up. So her recipes was delicious, but like I said, she felt, she fed a wealth of people. I mean, just the whole Durham community, just, have good things to say about her.
Name your siblings. Who are your siblings that you grew up with?
Well, I grew up with all of them, we all. She made sure we all came to her house, and whether we stayed there or not. And she had 15 kids. The oldest one is Thomas McLean. That was her maiden name. Somehow he was telling me the story how the Farrell was left off his name. He said he went, back in the day, you had Negro and all that on the birth certificate. And I used to work for the Register of Deeds, so I got a copy of all our birth certificates, all our marriage licenses, for anything that happened. And I got a copy of those things, and birth certificates, I got all those. So he asked him why was his last name McLean, and he was like, Oh, I went down there. I almost called the lady's name, and she told me, that I had to bring some kind of documentation, some a paper, or something with that on there, and I didn't have anything. So she left my name as Thomas McLean and didn't add the Farrell up there. He said, so I was frustrated, so I left it. So Thomas was my oldest brother, and then there was Freddie Farrell, and then it was my brother Frankie Andrew Farrell. Then it was my sister Deborah Jean Farrell. Then it was my brother Ronnie Farrell. He died. That was the one who died when he was 2 years old. Got hit by a vehicle. Someone ran him over. Then it was my brother William Joseph Farrell. Then it was my brother William Joseph Farrell. Then it was my sister Terry Vanessa Farrell. Then it's my sister Tony Michelle Farrell. Then it's me, Tammy K. Ferrell. Then it's my brother David Earl Farrell. Then it's my next brother Wayne Ellis Farrell. Then it's my sister Beverly Lenorio Farrell. Then it was my brother Mark Anthony Farrell. Then it was my youngest brother Jared Lamont Farrell. He got hurt when he was 8 and suffered a lot of health problems, so he's deceased. And then it's my sister Stacy Nicole Farrell, and she's deceased also. She had breast cancer and it took her rapidly, aggressively, so she passed also. So that's it. That's 15 kids.
That's the Farrell clan.
And that's one of my passwords, Fur Clan. Fur Clan 15. Yeah, I love them. And we love each other, and we're very close. We look out for one another. We all have our little things going on in life, but when it comes down to, we all look out for one another. We're all getting old in age. My younger sister would have been 52 if she had lived to see her birthday in October. We just really close. Like I said, at any given point, you'll see some of us just gather up together. And some of the Oxford Manor people, especially in Oxford Manor, a group of people gather every day. When I tell you every day is an everyday thing. If it rains, they're waiting until it starts raining to come out. Even in the cold, they come out and stand and they talk about the past. And of course, my mom's name always, comes up, and everybody talks about, the things she did, and me and my brother Mark are mostly out there. My brother Wayne, and my brother, his name is William, but we call him Ricky. And we're out there almost every day with this group of Oxford Manor people and Bragtown people, because everybody, when it's Bragtown, it's Bluefield, Kerwood, Dearborn Drive. It's all of those little sections. So it wasn't just Oxford Manor. It was all those little sections that called her mama or whatever, and depended on her. So, and that we serviced and we went out and did things for her. So we call all of them brothers and sisters. We're very close with their children. Our children are close with their children. If an altercation was to exist between someone that we grew up with and our kids, we'll get them together and say, look, we grew up together. We're not having that. So y'all cousins, even if we're not biological cousins, we'll let them know we're biological cousins. We're not having that. So we're a close family. And we got, I think Mama, when she passed, only child she had that preceded her was Ronnie, the 2-year-old. There was 14 living kids. There was 100 and I think 68 or 87 living grandchildren, and she had great-grandchildren at that time. And when she passed in the year 2005. So she haven't had any more grandchildren, but she's had an abundance of great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. So I'm thinking probably there's about 400 of us in Durham or more. Yeah, absolutely.
That descend from your mom?
Yes, yeah. So, we have to get together sometime and say, look, this is your cousin. Don't get on Facebook or social media and because she's cute or he's cute. Those are your cousins. And, I didn't know such and such. So we get together. We always say, we don't have a space where we can all get together and bring everybody together. And there's so many of us. And so we're trying to come up with a space where we can just get everybody together and say, look, these are your cousins, these are your great cousins. So we, like I said, we do our own little cookouts and stuff and invite everybody. Bring your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, so our children can see that they're cousins down the line. So even if you are fourth, fifth cousin, you still our cousin.
Wow. Big family.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking, now that they've upgraded the Bragtown Park,
Yes, they have.
right, you might be able to get
Yeah.
people together there on the occasion. Was your mom, did she remain in contact with your grandmother who went to New York?
She did until she passed. My grandmother passed in when I was 18. Actually, I remember going to her funeral. She died in New York, and because her brothers and sisters, only one of them moved to Durham, and that was her sister Girlie. The rest of them migrated and went to New York. And I guess with their mom and mama and my aunt Girlie stayed in Durham. And when she passed, when my mother, her name was Carrie Allen, and she was married to my granddad, David McLean, and they all passed and lived in New York.
Mm-hmm. Your mom, you touched on it earlier when you first started out, but she did a lot of work in politics.
Yeah.
You mentioned some of the people that
Yes.
she helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she have a formal role in that, or was that something that she just took upon herself to get involved in?
No, she did not have a formal role in anything she did. She would just get up and do. And she would just take the initiative just to get up and do it. She saw a need, so she would get up and she would contact the candidate and say, "Look, my name is Jessie Ferrell, and what do you need?" And she would school the candidate to see if they was good for the community, and especially for her kids. And what could they do for my kids, and what are you going to do for Durham? Because she was an advocate for Durham. Also, she was, a political powerhouse. And so, what I remember Dr. Robinson saying. She was a social worker. She was a pioneer, and how she got out and did the things that she needed to do to get people elected. And everybody